and I heard their songs and just thought, this is an amazing language to use.
It's a bit of a kind of pan-international kind of single anyway, because you're talking about Sweden, you've got a Welsh version. The cover art is some kind of is it Eastern European or
a little bit further actually? It's kind of Uzbekistan and Central Asia.
Okay. So why have you got that art on a single called Sweden? Is it a deliberate attempt to confuse people? Is there a method behind it?
I think it's. I mean, the photo we used is from the same photographer that we use all the other art for the album, the front cover of the album and inside the album and the other singles. Russian photographer, one of the pioneers of colour photography, and it was taken. I think 1910 was when the photograph was taken, and it was at a time when photography was just being created, so people didn't know how to react to a photograph, so they didn't smile. So it gives this rather strange quality to the photos, which I liked. As for the Sweden reference, I guess it ties in with the whole part of the album, which is rather dreamlike. It's like in dreams things happen that don't make any sense, and having this figure come out at you on the front cover of Sweden.
Is that what hypnagogues?
Hypnagogues, I think, means something like induced by drugs or sleep, and it's supposed to be that moment when you're falling asleep and you have a kind of a thought or a dream which comes into your mind, and then sometimes if you wake up, you actually manage to grab hold of it, and it's usually something quite strange. So I wanted with the whole album to create that kind of feeling.
Yeah. Going back to the music of Sweden again, that's very kind of dreamlike in its
it's repetition.
It's repetition. Maybe dreams aren't repetition. Maybe dreams are the exact opposite of repetition. But it's got that kind of hypnotic feel, which is perhaps more sleep-inducing. It's a kind of two-note riff that powers the song, which is great. I love that song. It's very much a feature of your sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were saying earlier about doing the unexpected. Would you consider writing a song with 10 chords in it?
If I could, I'm not sure if I ever know 10 chords. But it's always, I've just always been drawn to 2 notes, 2 chords. When I was much younger, I'd kind of hum to myself just 2 notes just going up and down for ages. I think I must have really annoyed my parents, and the bands that I started listening to when I was 15, 16 were again those bands which used 2 chords.
What kind of bands were you listening to then?
Well, the obvious examples: Velvet Underground, The Fall. I'd take a song like Heroin. That's an amazing song. It's a D and G. It's not really about the chords. It's about what you put on top of it.
Yeah. And tonight you're playing on this boat.
Yeah.
You've played a boat in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, it was this same boat last year. We're playing with Thomas Strax today, who's one of my favourite songwriters. It's a little bit unusual. When the tide comes in, you feel a little bit sick. Our guitarist Mark nearly was sick. I told him to go on to dry land, as it were. He said that's not gonna help. I've got to get used to it.
Do you mean at the sound check earlier?
Yeah.
Really?
But I think he's okay now. It's a lovely little venue. I think the great thing about London is that it has all these nooks and crannies, and I think this is one of them. It's not really known about.
I've never been here before.
Yeah.
And finally, in the background there, we've got Big Ben, the House of Parliament. You ever tempted to make a political statement in any of your songs?
I don't think that's where my strength lies. I guess you could say that a lot of songs can be political without really addressing the situation. There's a new compilation album of political songs we have a track on, and it focuses on the story actually of the Uzbek ambassador who was sacked a few years ago, or forced out of his job for speaking about human rights abuses in Uzbekistan. And if you listened to the track, I've kind of changed it into a kind of a dark nightmare about some of the things that go on. So it's not. I wouldn't really call it a political song, but it certainly.
But it addresses themes.
It addresses, the whole situation back 5 years ago, where basically people couldn't speak out about what was going on in Uzbekistan because they were an ally on the war on terror. So it's all linked.
Okay. Well, I think that concludes our interview for this evening.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.